What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the BookMine Academy. In this video, we're going to talk all about all the nitty-gritty, all the nuanced stuff about prep centers. In our previous video, the video before this in the BookMine Academy, we showed you how easy it was to actually sign up to get, in with Central Virginia Prep or Little Owl. And today we're going to talk about the nitty-gritty, the other, more important details that you need to know. But before we do that, what's going on, Victor?
How's it going, Joji? Video 2. First video, we talked about the need of getting a prep center, and now the nuances after that. Like after you got a prep center, what does a prep center actually do for you? And so we're about to cover that. I think it's going to be a good video.
Now, one thing I do want to mention is that Victor and I will be going live with both Shanna and Frank, the owners of Central Virginia Prep and Little Owl Prep. Now, again, by the time this video is out, that will have already happened. But what you can do is once you go to the BookMine YouTube channel, just come over here to the live feature, and you will see, this prep center asking anything for used books with Shanna and Frank. And that'll probably be a 45-minute to an hour long video where people are asking questions. So if you want to get to know who they are, get to know all that stuff, then make sure you go back there and watch the video. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started with the first thing about prep centers, which is, how exactly are you going to get your book to the prep center, Victor?
Yeah. So first thing up is, as we covered in video 1, contact them, establish to be a client of theirs, and then they're going to give you their address. So you're going to put your you're going to go to Amazon and add an address. And when you go to Amazon, your buyer account, you're going to add an address, but still your name on top, or your seller name on top, and the address that your prep center has. And that's it. All you do is just save that. And so now from now on, every book you buy, you send it to your prep center, and it goes. You're not in it at all. You're not. The book isn't going to be sent to you, and you're going to send it to your prep center. It's going to go directly from whoever you're buying it from to the prep center. So you just know that's happening, and I think that's what the magic of this all is. Because some people thought we were actually shipping it to our house and then to the prep center. I'm like, no, directly to them.
Directly to them.
And so you could literally get this going within a week. They could actually start prepping some of your books within this next week, and I think that's magical.
I'm excited for the people who take action with this because it really is not hard. But the only way you'll see that it's not hard is if you do it. Like I can see if you're looking outside and looking in, you're like, okay, this looks difficult, but it's actually way easier than you thought. So just take action with it. Get started. Again, make sure you watch the video number 1 on this. Now, the next thing is, how are they going to know what you're actually sending them? And this is where it's a little bit different between Central Virginia Prep and also Little Owl, and probably for other prep centers as well. But all I can do is speak about my own experience, and then Victor can talk about Little Owl. So basically the way that Shanna from Central Virginia Prep knows what you're sending them is through a spreadsheet system. And I'm actually going to share that spreadsheet right here because I don't mind doing that. This is called the Davenport Bookseller Receiving Spreadsheet. Why Davenport? Because that's my last name and I'm a client of theirs. And basically all I need to do is fill out everything that's in yellow, and they'll fill out everything else that's in green. Now, in the previous video, we mentioned that we found this book here, Wildflowers by Color, on BookMine. We said that we would buy it at $11.79, and we think that there's a very high likelihood of selling it for $49.99, but very likely that we would sell it between $40 to $50 probably. So what I would need to do is tell Shanna, tell Central Virginia Prep that they should be receiving this book. And so the way that I would do that is fill out this information. So I'd go over here, 8/28, 2024. So I'd just go like this, 8/28/24. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and put in the binding type. So whether or not that's a hardcover, a loose leaf, a paperback, you can see that this says paperback there, says it there as well. And then also I'm going to need the ASIN. So on SellerAmp, you can either copy the ASIN there, or you can just double click the ASIN up there in the URL. And you're going to come back here and you're going to go ahead and first it's a paperback, PB. Then you're going to go ahead and put in the ASIN. It's going to automatically give the Amazon listing, I'm buying quantity 1. And the last thing you need is the title. Boom, copy the title there or copy the title there. Come over, paste. That's how she knows that she's receiving this book. That's really important for later on with returns and if the book doesn't come in the right condition, all that stuff. But that's how it works for Central Virginia Prep. How does it kind of work for Little Owl?
And so before in that, if you don't fill out your spreadsheet, what happens? Okay.
Really good question. Shanna is very, very organized. So if you're somebody who loves organization, I'd probably recommend going to Shanna. Not that Frank isn't organized, but Shanna is just a spreadsheet warrior. So if you're someone who's not very on top of your things, not very organized, and you're not putting the books that you're buying on that spreadsheet, and they are receiving unexpected inventory, then I believe they charge you like $1 per book that just shows up at their place unexpectedly. So if you know that you're not an organized person and that you're
Well,
going to forget, then probably don't
welcome to
use
Frank's side.
Yeah, go to Frank's side. Again, not saying that Frank is
Yeah,
disorganized. It's just
yeah,
Frank has a different system. So
yeah.
you going to talk about Frank's system?
Sure. So first up, I can say there's a difference. Frank is a little bit more flexible. He allows you to be unorganized. He's going to meet you where you're at. So if you're unorganized, he will operate the best he can with your unorganization, right? Or he won't demand you to be organized for him to work with you.
Right.
And I really enjoy that part. I through the years I have both been really a stickler on, oh my gosh, I would buy a book at good condition and I want the book to be in good condition. If it's not, I want to send it back because I initially it's the first thought that was important. Later on realizing that's not so important and things like that. So throughout the years I've like relaxed a lot, and Frank has allowed me to do that. So right now basically all I do is just send him a spreadsheet of all the books I've bought, and in one lump sum I upload it and he gets them when he gets them. He's not, if there are other books that show up, he's not documenting, he's not like documenting any points on that or charging me anything for it. Matter of fact, by accident, one time I actually ordered a pair of jeans. He got the pair of jeans and that was the only time he's written me and was like, hey, I got some jeans. You want me to like prep those for you? And I was like, oh, whoops, that should have been sent to my house. So he's willing to also prep different things besides books. So I think my bottom line here is that he's willing to work with you of who you are, right? So he'll both prep books, he'll prep CDs, DVDs, he'll prep almost anything that can be shipped and sent onto Amazon. So that's important. That if you decide to go out of books, you don't have to like leave Frank, right?
Yeah.
Frank also does other things, but right now I've only used him for books the entire time. He's a great. He's also a bookseller himself as like a side hobby for himself because he also enjoys books. So yeah, he'll he has a very similar spreadsheet. If you want that type of spreadsheet, he has that. You can put that down and you can put, hey, if this book doesn't come in good condition, have it sent back, and he'll do that. Or you're just basically, as long as the book can be sold, he's good with that too. So yeah, both are great, and they're both great for different reasons.
And one thing I forgot to mention with the spreadsheet here is remember that we would fill in everything that's yellow and Shanna's team will fill in everything that's green. So essentially what's going to happen is when they receive the book, they're going to go ahead and say, okay, this was the date that they received it. This was the tracking number, which again is going to be important for making sure that you got the right book and you know who this book came from. It's also especially important if you bought multiple copies from different sellers. So let's say you bought 5 copies of the same book from different sellers. Well, one of them is unsellable. Well, who did it come from? You know who to actually send the book to. So they'll go and put the tracking number. They'll go and put comments. In this case, G means good condition, N means no markings. And again, basically they have a procedure, document here where you can learn more about it, right? We're just trying to go over the most important things here. And again, data and quantity. And that's essentially it. Now, what's going to happen is on the bottom, when they do start shipping stuff out, you'll get to see all the other books that I've actually shipped. So you can see, when I've had books shipped here and so on. So that's pretty cool there.
So Joji, how do you know when a list of your books have been sent in? Does Shanna send you an email, or do you just know about it on Amazon, or how does that work?
Yeah, good question there. So basically, you can tell Shanna when you want her to create a shipment. Now, it makes sense to probably create a shipment after at least 20 books because that's when it becomes, the shipping fee becomes, optimal, I should say. Mm-hmm. So you can, in the beginning, basically tell them when to ship. You trigger the shipment. So you would send them an email, say, hey, I've noticed I've got 30 books in, at your warehouse that you've already put a label on. Let's ship. Let's trigger a shipment. So you'd email trigger. I forget what send shipment or something like that. Again, it's in the procedure document. It's really easy. Once you become someone who's just buying books on a regular basis, there are so many books coming in that they're just going to start auto triggering shipments for you. So for me, I don't tell them when to send a shipment. When they have enough books, they just send a shipment. I trust them that they are professionals. They know what they're doing. Even if they're not exactly optimized with the exact number of books, it doesn't really matter anyways. The fee is so minimal relative to the scale of what we're doing. So that's essentially how that works. How does it work for Frank?
Yeah, basically the same thing. When you're a new seller, you can set up a trigger between 5 to 200 books. So whatever number you want, that once you hit that number, that Frank will set another shipment for you, or you can also just set it up manually. Every time you want to log in, you can click the button, and then like within 24 hours, you'll get another shipment in. But again, similar to you, Joji, I have so many books being sent in. We no longer are on the trigger system. Basically, every like week to 2 weeks, I get a whole nother shipment sent in, and
Yep.
then I know that because I just see them on Amazon
Yep.
about being shipped, and also every Monday that I'm getting a shipment, I get a invoice
Right.
letting me know, hey, now because we shipped out these books, now you owe us this certain amount of money.
Yep. Shannon will send you an email when your inventory is shipped, and then we'll also send you an invoice as well. And then again, I just have the invoice on automatic payment with a business credit card to get to get credit card rewards points as well. And again, it's just on auto pay. So essentially, it just pays every time the invoice comes up. So yeah, that's how the payment system works. Is essentially they'll charge you based upon how many books that were prepped and listed, and you get an invoice on a particular day and you'll pay that. Yeah, good point there. Now, the next thing that I also want to talk about was how they're going to condition your books. Some people are very meticulous and they'll spend 3 minutes looking at a book picture and they'll go, there's a little ding, like, I don't know about that. And they'll spend a bunch of time looking at the book. That's not what they're going to do. Their business model is quantity, right? Is being very efficient at one thing, which is doing a few actions. And again, that'll be like making sure that the binding is actually attached, it's not detached, making sure that there's nothing on the covers that is clearly like just an eyesore, like just really bad.
Right.
And they'll flip through the pages, make sure all the pages like that there's not ripped pages. But what they're not going to do is remove like a sticker. They're not going to sit there with Goo Gone and like do this. They're not going to spray it with isopropyl alcohol and like rub it, right? So you do have to let go of it a little bit, like a little bit of the control quality. But what I could tell you, what Victor could tell you from years of doing this,
Yeah.
is it doesn't make a difference. I have a 100% feedback rating on Amazon.
Yeah, you have to just believe us that when like, because initially I thought, oh my gosh, there's a sticker on the book, it's going to bring down the value of the book. It doesn't, and also I'm not getting negative feedback if there's stickers on the book. So
Yeah.
finding in the books that have stickers, that's fine. There's no reason. It's just unnecessary work being put on your prep center for taking off
Right.
stickers. Let the stickers be on it. It's never affected me. It's never affected Joji. It doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't. Your customer doesn't matter, right? Because
Yep.
they're just trying to read a book.
Yep. And I have 100% feedback. I
Yep.
think you have
Same thing.
100% feedback as well. Right. Yeah. That's really important to know. Now, again, you can tell them specifically if you want them to grade down one. So you could say like, hey, if you think it's good condition, then just say it's acceptable. If you think it's very good condition, think it's good. I don't do that. I just trust them as professionals.
Yep.
Say, Shanna, have your people grade it however they think it is. If you think it's in good condition, say it's good. If you think it's very good, it's very good. I think what I did tell them though is that's the highest grade for me. I said don't list anything above very good. But most of my books get listed good, acceptable, and then some very good. And I know for Frank, I think you said something about just like if it's sellable, something like that.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, like new all the way down to acceptable, I'm willing to go with. Even if I'm trying to think whether or not I should argue with him about a particular condition of a book, I'm like, this guy is sold, has seen thousands upon thousands of books. I have not, so he knows how to grade books better than me. So I need to just listen to what he actually is saying here.
Yep.
So you have to also realize that you're basically hiring an expert.
Yep, absolutely. Now, what happens if you actually buy a book and it comes damaged and it's unsellable? They will tell you again because they've looked at thousands and thousands of books, so they know when a
Yep.
book is unsellable. If that spine is detached, or if in any way the book is just not a book that you could reasonably accept someone to, you know, accept and read and be okay with, then you'd want to go ahead and open a return. And so I'm going to go back to the spreadsheet here.
So like unsellable books to me mean books that, like, again, the spine is broken, the binding's out, the pages are missing, some of the pages are missing. There's so much water damage that you can't really read the book anymore, or there's potential counterfeit. So those are the reasons why you want to send a book back.
Yeah, and this would be super easy. For example, let's say this Practical Turkey Hunting Strategies book, which by the way is a great seasonal book for turkey hunting. Let's say this book came in damaged, which it didn't, but let's say it did. What they would do is actually make this row red to indicate that there's a problem with this book. And essentially what I would do is, okay, I would just, find this book on Amazon. I'd go back to my order page. And so if I click here, basically I can say, okay, I did view this order, or I did buy this book. I can view this order. I can see it was, shipped to the warehouse. I could say there's a problem with the order. Again, make sure it's from the right seller, because I actually did purchase 2 copies here. So make sure, right, if you look at the tracking number, it's coming from that specific seller. But you would say problem with the order. And then basically what you would do is say, hey, this didn't come as described. You would have them send you a free shipping label. Just go through the process. It's pretty easy. Then you would essentially email that shipping label over to Central Virginia Prep. And what they would do, print it out, put that book back in the same package, put the label on it, and then they'll drop it off to you at UPS for you, and you get your money back. That's essentially how that works.
Yeah.
And
Amazon will give you an actual packing slip, right? So all you have to do is send that packing slip to your prep center, and they'll ship off the book for you.
pretty easy. And most of the time, you're not going to have very many returns. At scale, definitely you're going to have returns, because you have mega booksellers saying the book's acceptable and it's not acceptable, or even in good condition and it's not in acceptable condition. It's just the way that it works. But on the same hand, you buy acceptable condition books sometimes from Goodwill, and they come in like good condition or very good condition. So it goes both ways. It is a necessary part of the game. And again, it'll all be explained in the procedures, when you actually do sign up. But again, it's not very difficult. It might just take 1 or 2 tries to get the hang of it, but it's actually quite simple. So hopefully we covered that pretty well. Now, the last thing we should maybe talk about here is when are they going to actually ship your items out? So it's not like they're waiting on a specific day. Again, you just trigger the shipment, right?
Mhm.
And that's essentially it. So I guess we actually kind of already covered that.
Mhm.
Now, there's nothing else that's really sticking out to me. I think we covered most things. Anything else you can think about, Victor?
That
Nitty-gritty
that
you
your
wanna
prep
say?
center, when you start becoming a bigger bookseller, becomes a partner with you,
Yeah.
right? So they will help you succeed. They'll help you scale. You guys will work together,
Yeah.
and it's almost like a partnership, like I said. And
Yeah.
so when you're only sending in 10 books, they'll work with you. When you're sending in 200 books a day, they'll also work with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think you should start it out early.
Yeah.
If you're already at 10 books a day, I think you should really go ahead and start
Yeah.
looking at a prep center, because right now what you're doing is buying 10 books and also prepping these 10 books a day, which is a lot of
It's
work
a
to be
lot of work.
on one person.
I
And
would even, yeah, I would even go as far as say, if you're doing 5 books a day, which is 35 books a week,
yeah,
that's certainly one shipment. I would even at that level do it, because again, you can tell them when to trigger the shipment, and you only get charged money when they actually ship the books out anyways. That's when they'll charge you the listing and the prep fee. So I would say if you're doing 5 books a day or 35 books a week, I would say it's worth doing. You'll see that you have so much more time. Your back will thank you. Your spouse will thank you. Your pets will thank you, except for your cats. The cats probably did want to actually jump on them. But other than that, it's going to be so much easier for you. And
No.
yeah, you can thank us later down the road, because it's an awesome service. And to remember, like Victor said, they're partners. The only way they make money is by shipping more books. So what they want you to do is they want you to go to the BookMine Academy. They want you to buy good books with BookMine. They want you to actually make money so that you send them more books, because if you send them more books, they make more money. It's a win situation. So
Correct. Yep.
I think we covered
I think we
everything.
covered it. I think
I
we
think
did
we
it.
did.
Yeah.
Let us know down below in the comment section if you have any other questions, and we'll try to help out with that. Remember, we did go live with Shanna and Frank a couple days from the recording date here, which is now, by the time this video is out, it's over with. So go watch that live. But that's all we have for you. See you in the next BookMine Academy video. And yeah, goodbye.
Bye, guys.